On nights when the moon rose the color of old wine over Fenlo, parents latched shutters and told children not to look at the hill. They spoke of the Vampire Duke of Thornfell, an old stone keep in the Hawthorns, a cold lord whose shadow could drink a man's courage. If a wagon wheel broke at dusk, someone muttered a prayer. If a flock went missing, no one asked the forest for mercy. Mercy, they said, was not a word he knew. Yet on those same nights, when doors were barred and talk ran to terror, a wind would slip through the lanes and click loose latches into place. A forgotten top folded itself over a woodpile. A too-hot ember in a hearth pinched into a safer glow. By morning, moon-bright mushrooms sat in a bowl at the midwife's door. No one looked up the hill to find the figure on the tower, cloak unfastened, a pale hand raised to the sky as if asking the night to be kind. It was toward that keep that Luna came, limping, a child heavy with sleep in her arms. She was a hunter by trade, trained to hear the footprints even silence left. A cursed iron thorn had found her shoulder on a mission to the North Hamlets, and pain beat inside the wound like a second heart. The inn was full, the church was locked, the streets slick with rain. Her daughter, Mira, 3 years old, warm as a bird, had begun to hum a small fever. "Don't go up there," a woman with a tight shawl warned. "He'll smell the hurt on you." Luna did not answer. The keep's ironwood gate stood ajar as if by accident. Twice on the climb, a wet branch drew back for her. Once, when her knee slid, the air steadied under her palm like a hand and then was only air again. Inside, the hall was long and quiet. A single lamp burned, not bright, only patient. A woman stepped out of the hush as if she had been cut from it, plain grey dress, hair bound, eyes like a timid sky. "Come," she said. "The little one first." She was Sarah, the housekeeper. They slept near a steady fire, Mira in quilts the colors of sage and dusk. Before dawn, a presence moved the air by the bed, a quiet that felt like a hand held close and choosing not to touch. A wordless tune threaded the room, as old and cheerful as bread rising. By morning, Mira's fever had broken. On the window's frost, a faint marking curved like an old sigil for safe passage. By the bed sat a moss-green salve. "The Lord sees to all things in his house," Sarah said, pouring tea that tasted of stone and spring. When Luna murmured she could not pay, Sarah nodded briskly. "Good. Then you will owe me a story." On the third night, Luna found the balcony door open to the weather. He stood there, a long coat the color of midnight, a stillness like a wolf deciding not to bite. The moon grained his hair the gray of wet spruce. His eyes held the same green as the salve. "Your house is kind," Luna said, accusation and thanks together. "It keeps what few virtues it has," he replied, voice like old leaves under snow. "My child is better," he said gently. He watched her without counting. "Will you tell the village I stole you?" The question startled a broken laugh from her. "If they believe it," he went on, "they will stay away. They say you are ruthless," Luna tried, hearing the training in her own mouth. He inclined his head. "I am very old, Hunter. I have heard too many prayers to answer them with honesty. But I know the precise sound a child's fever makes." He gave no name until she asked. "To those who keep my house breathing," he said, "I am Alaric." In the morning, Sarah announced guest right, 3 midnights of sanctuary under the keep's consent. She set a plain dusk blue cloak in Luna's hands. "Bride of night," she said softly when Luna hesitated. Not for romance. For protection. Old laws honor the word bride when it means belonging. The cloak settled over Luna's shoulders like a patient animal. That first midnight, Mira woke and found a carved wooden horse at her pillow, though no door had opened. The second, Luna heard a library laugh to itself far away. The third, the keep held its breath, and the wrong road other people had chosen went on without her. You can stay longer, Alaric said, while Sarah fed a white fox a carrot at the edge of the wards. Time is strange here. It does not like to be hurried. What will they say? She asked, meaning the order that had trained her, meaning Fenlo, meaning fear itself. Whatever keeps the peace in their bones, he said, almost smiling. If I must be a wall in their stories, I will be a wall. Other things fear me too. The order came, not with siege, but with faces worn by oaths. They frowned at the dusk blue cloak on Luna's shoulders. You married the night, one said, almost kind, almost furious. I sought sanctuary, she answered. Alaric did not descend to frighten them. Sarah carried out a basket of rosemary bread, still warm, and a flagon of red wine from a village they hadn't visited in a decade. For the rain on your road, she said simply. They left. Rumor, unsatisfied, invented blackbirds in a chimney. Quiet mercies continued. A chill crept through Fenlo, ovens held their heat better, a certain elder bark made tea that sent a wicked phlegm away. On the south parapet, Alaric cupped his hands and asked the mist to go around houses where infants slept. In the morning, someone had drawn an invisible line through the town, and on one side shoes were dry. No one thanked Thornfell, and Thornfell did not ask it. Luna learned the keep's moods, locks that unlatched for rain and sulked for sun, a room of old instruments that sometimes remembered their songs without being touched. Mira, who called Alaric Sir Moon once and then not at all, ran squealing through the gallery. Alaric walked the walls at night, respectful of thresholds, feeding on deer along the north slope and frost apples in the orchard. If you sit with hunger as if it were a person, he told her, mildly surprised by the need to say it aloud, it learns better manners. One storm shouldered up the valley, lightning already choosing roofs. Alaric lifted a hand, and the charge braided itself elsewhere, lodging in an alder old enough to accept it. In the morning, a basket waited at the milepost, 3 coarse loaves and a note, if you will be a devil, at least be our devil. Alaric read it as a man might look at a child's handprint left in dust. Do you believe in kindness? Luna asked. Like I believe in weather, he said. I expect it where I have seen it enough to earn hope. In the chapel, where oaths could be set down without being trampled, Alaric offered one more old word. Bride's right, he said, not proud, only careful. Not a wedding as the world counts weddings. Shelter. If you want this hill to answer to your name. Luna unbound the cord from her wrist, the one the order had given her, and laid it in a notch in the wood where someone once set a sprig of ash. Sarah lit a candle without ceremony. A fox watched from the doorway, its thin tail a brushstroke of dusk. No one said the word forever. They said enough. Seasons turned gentler by degrees. Mira planted peas, certain the soil needed singing. Sarah scolded a magpie and then bribed it with buttons. The town kept its coat of fear because people rarely undress all at once. Yet beneath it grew a simple knowledge, like a steady light on a hill. Windows latched themselves in the night, a fox found milk, smoke stitched calmly from chimneys when storms came. Children folded Thornfell into their counting games. The miller left a dish by the barn out of a second habit no one had taught him. One night, blood-calm moon above them, Mira asleep on quilts listing frog names, Luna stood with Alaric under the parapet and listened to the forest rethread its dark. "Do you mind?" she asked, almost a whisper, being feared for a kindness no one sees. "If the fear keeps them safe," he said. "No." Then his voice warmed like an old lantern relit. "But I like that you and the child notice which windows close and which foxes are fed. It matters to the rooms we live in that someone sees what we asked of ourselves." "They feared the Vampire Duke," Luna murmured, turning bravado into something steadier. "But his kindness was only for his hunter bride and her child." "Only?" His head tipped. "Mostly. And then let the rest take what it can from that." A wind slipped off the hill and clicked a latch in the second house past the green. A baker slept on, astonished at how secure his breath felt. Somewhere, a girl woke from a dream of rose-colored frost and found only honest leaf shadow at her window. "Come in," Luna said at last, turning to the corridor's warm hush. "It's cold." "Yes," Alaric answered, and they went inside with a sleeping child between them like a lantern they shared. The door eased itself closed, gentle as a hand over a loved brow, and on nights when the moon rose the color of old wine over Fenlo, parents latched shutters and forbade glances at the hill. They spoke of the Vampire Duke of Thornfell, cold lord, stone keep, a shadow that drank courage. Yet while doors were barred, a wind clicked loose latches, tamed embers, and left moon-bright mushrooms by the midwife's bowl. No one looked up to see a figure on the tower asking the night to be kind. Toward that keep Luna came, limping, her daughter heavy with sleep. A cursed iron thorn burned in her shoulder, the inn was full, the church locked, rain everywhere. Mira, 3, warm as a bird, hummed with fever. The ironwood gate stood ajar. Twice a branch drew back. Once the air steadied her palm. Inside, a patient lamp, and Sarah the housekeeper, "Come. The little one first." By dawn Mira's fever had broken, a moss-green salve waited by the bed. "The Lord sees to his house," Sarah said. On the third night Luna found a balcony door open to weather. He stood there, coat like midnight, hair the grey of wet spruce, still as a wolf deciding not to bite. "Your house is kind," she said. "It keeps what few virtues it has," he answered. "My child is better." He watched without measuring. "Will you tell the village I stole you? If they believe it, they will stay away. They say you are ruthless. I am very old. I know the sound a child's fever makes." In the morning Sarah invoked guest right, 3 midnights of sanctuary, and set a dusk blue cloak in Luna's hands. "Bride of night," she said. "Not romance. Belonging." The cloak settled like a patient animal. "Stay longer," Alaric offered. "Time here dislikes haste. If I must be a wall in their stories, I will be a wall. Other things fear me too." The order came with faces worn by oaths. "You married the night," one said. "I sought sanctuary," Luna answered. Alaric did not descend. Sarah brought warm rosemary bread and a flagon of red wine, for the rain on your road. They left. Quiet mercies continued, ovens kept heat, elder tea eased chests, and from the south parapet Alaric sent the mist around houses where infants slept. By morning, an invisible line crossed Fenlo. On one side, shoes were dry. In the chapel where oaths aren't trampled, he offered one more old word, bride's right, shelter. Let this hill answer to your name. Luna set down her orders cord, Sarah lit a candle, a fox watched. Seasons gentled. The town kept its coat of fear, yet beneath it grew a steady knowing. Under a blood-calm moon Luna asked, "Do you mind being feared for a kindness no one sees?" "No," he said, lantern warm. "I like that you notice." A wind clicked a distant latch. "Come in," Luna murmured. The door eased itself closed. The keep, which had been feared for so long, held its quiet promise a little nearer to the world.